Hello, Action Figure Minute fans. It's Justin, and I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. AFM's back. Tell your friends. I came back. I came back. I came back. I'll keep going or not, but I came back from LegionsCon 2024. And dang, it was a good time. So, we're going to start off showing off some of the things I got. I'm not going to talk about the G-Con that I went to. I got the exclusive G-Con pin. Here's my badge for LegionsCon. I didn't go around and collect all the little ribbons that people did, but I did get one from my buddies over at Borderland Horde Custom. So thanks, guys. That's sick. Anyway, moving on, I thought I would start this video off by showing some of the cool custom stuff that I was able to get at LegionsCon 2024. And we'll start with the first set, The Legend of Gaspar the Unamused. And if you know, you know, George hates fun. And we got Garwich, the Unpredictable One. And these are the tribute figures, day one exclusive tribute figures to George Gaspar and Chris Straight Poop Garwich. Yeah, the silly zany guy that makes the biblical angel, demon, biblical adventures, angels, and all that you've seen in the toy community world. But I'm super excited for this set. I end up getting not one, not two, but three of this set just because it's awesome. The day one exclusive came with the spare Attila head and also the dwarf head and dwarf legs. So that's awesome. Tons of cool extra parts in here. Very excited to pick this up. And then we found that morning as well that we had a new figure drop, and this has been everywhere by now. This is nothing new, but the Ninian Infantry. I saw this guy in the back of the case Friday night at G-Con, and I said, I bet that this is this year's Valiant Knight. And sure enough, it was. I ended up getting not one, not two, but I got three, but I hooked a guy up that wasn't able to get one. So I only came home with the two. That's good enough for me. Then we'll move over to the day two exclusive. The amazing, this is for Cosmic Legions, the Amazing Alien and Creature Creator set. Now this is a throwback set to an old toy that is way before my time. I have no idea. But some cool custom figures on here. Between the two sets, what's really cool that you've probably seen a lot of people do, you take this Gorgo style head and you take this guy over here, you put some Novian lean shoulders on it, and bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a cool Cosmic Legion Boba Fett style figure. So that's something I'm going to do. I got two of these. And then we'll move on to my thing that I was super excited about, the Armory Experience. So here's two of the builds that I did. These were the two that I was gunning for most. I did get four others, so I went through the line 3 times. You can get 2 each time. And I haven't put those together yet because these guys require some serious heat. I was talking to my buddy Eric Miller. Shout out to Eric Miller of the not Euro Legions, the Mythic Enablers. There we go. So shout out to my buddy Eric Miller. We were talking about the assembly on these guys, and he's a wicked smart dude. It's because that these weren't pre-popped ever at the factory. So we got to put in that little extra legwork. For the other ones that I'm going to be building, they're going to get a serious hot water bath. Serious. Then some fun little things too. When they were handing out the badges to the con, I got mine Friday night before. They've got this cool D20 4 Horsemen style, if you can see that, D20 dice that they were giving out for a surprise Mythic Legions thing that they unveiled earlier that day for the new miniature role-playing game. And then they announced also during G-Con that they are going to be doing a Cosmic Legions comic book, and they gave all that attended the the LegionsCon this weekend, when they picked up their badge, they gave them this D20 dice, and they gave them this Ashcan edition. I've never heard of that term before, but I'm not a comic collector either. An Ashcan edition of this comic. So very cool art in there from a lot of people. My buddy Jeremy DeWitt of the My Wife Is Going to Kill Me podcast is contributing this as well. So super cool to see your friends succeed and do cool things. Very proud of you, Jeremy. Keep up the great work. Then while we were in, I think they called it the figure fair for Mythic Legions, they had a couple of cool little things that I hadn't seen before. Right at the checkout line, they had mythical hot sauce, which I wanted to give a whirl. Distributed by Sticker Mule, and George said it was great, so I'm going to give it a whirl. I'm excited for it. And then finally, for all of the Figure Obscura figures, they'd done mugs, except for the Monkey King. With the Monkey King, they created a tumbler and released that for the all-in. So they had this sitting up there as a surprise at the figure fair, this tin Monkey King cup, which worked very well for LegionsCon lobby drinking at the end of the night. So thanks for that, guys. That worked out really well. Kept my drink nice and frosty. So we're started there, showing off some of the exclusives. We're going to go on, let's do the figure fair next. Right. So I've been recording, and these are the figures I was able to grab at the figure fair. Now, I already showed you the new Ninian Infantry. Like I said, I grabbed 2 of those, so I'm going to move those out of the way. And then we'll show off some of the other figures. Now, I was not planning on buying many figures, but when you're in a 4 Horsemen line and you see figures that you haven't purchased in forever, and you're thinking fodder and you're thinking customs, boom, enabled by 4 Horsemen, this happens. So let's start here in the middle. Snag one of the coolest head sculpts in the entire Mythic Legions line. I already have him, of course, but I thought picking up another at the LegionsCon price would be a great deal, so grabbed a Snag. Then I grabbed a Cavern Dwarf Legion Builder, because dwarves are one of the 2 best races, along with goblins, in Mythic Legions. So very happy to get another Cavern Dwarf, add that to the collection. And then this was a goof. I got not 1, but I got 2 Shadow Elf Rangers, which I guess that's cool because I can make some neat customs with him, and awesome. Happy accident. Pikachu! Those guys out of the way, keep on cruising. Let's now go to Calavius. Super awesome figure. Paint sculpt, details, color of the armor. I love this guy. Cool for custom bits and parts to have another one of him on hand. Brother Mandibulus, one of my favorite figures in the line. He just does something for me. The cracked horn on his helmet, the skull, the black and red, badass. Love him. Then we'll go to an Elf Ranger. I got a regular Elf Ranger for custom usage, so that's cool. And I got a Silverhorn Sentry because I never really cared for the look of this figure I didn't have any before the last time they did the All-Star release. They did the All-Star release. I got a couple, and I think he's awesome, and I can make for some really cool figures, customs for that faction. So I'm excited for that. And I grabbed yet another Templar Relic Guard. By the way, I'll probably make a post about this in the Cabal. I asked Jeremy Gerard, I said, Jeremy, my guess for these guys, because the story, if you read the bio, I guess there's 13 of these guys, these elite Templar Relic Guards, and they're guarding something, and it's a mystery. And my guess always was that they were guarding the dragon that we were going to be getting. And it turned out to be, I asked Jeremy, I said, so did I miss it? Were these guys guarding the dragon in the lore? And he said, no, they're not. Now, whether he meant no, they were not for the dragon that was shown at G-Con or you know, maybe it was another dragon, who knows? Or maybe it's a relic. Bottom line, it's not the dragon that was shown at G-Con, it's something else. So mystery still yet to be determined. Drop it in the comments if you think you know what these guys are guarding. So we'll still get to find that out. Something really cool about building the world of Mythic Legions, keeping all those mysteries out there. Thanks, Four Horsemen. And I was able to grab one more Skeleton Legion Builder figure. These guys are hot commodities. So very happy. A lot of cool stuff I was able to get in the LegionsCon figure fair. And let's move on to, we'll do the Armory Experience. All right, so talking Armory Experience. It was awesome. The layout, the setup, everything Four Horsemen did about it, I loved it. I ended up getting 6 figures. I've assembled 2 of them. You can see the massive pile of parts you get. When you went through the line, you get to pick out 4 different selections. 1 limb, 1 torso, 1 head, and the other one was like shoulders and accessory parts. The shoulder pads and loin piece and accessory parts. And then you got a weapons pack, and then as an exclusive part, you got a gold relic set, which were, these are relic pieces that came from the various figure obscuras that we've gotten in the past. So very cool. I have customs planned for both of these figures that I have pre-assembled here. The heads are just placeholders for right now. We also got cool packaging that if you wanted to display yours carded or in package, you could. These are foil embossed, or whatever the terminology is for that. And same with the card back. Card back, I'll go ahead and read that real quick. In each kingdom of the realm, smiths work at their fires, forging suits of armor and weapons for the warriors who will wield them in battle. Each helmet they make, along with each breastplate, sword, and shield they forge, are created for those who seek to protect the realm, or for those who wish to see it brought to its knees. The knights of Mythos, both those who have pledged their fealty to the heroic legions of light, as well as warriors whose ambitions have led them down the path to the legions of dark, sense that the next great war is coming. Examining the smith's wares, they select their armaments. It is now your turn. You will be a hero to Mythos, or do you seek power over those weaker than yourself? Will you don a suit of armor as a soldier in the heroic legions of light, or will your weapons be wielded for a darker cause? Choose your armor and select your weapons. The realm of Mythos awaits your decision. So, very cool overall experience. I hope it was a great success to Four Horsemen. They also had some extra parts that were factory confusion, I guess we'll say. These were the original bare limb, body, torso, arms, etc. that they accidentally had made for the day 1 exclusive set. So they ended up selling them to Legionnaires at the con for a great price. It was $10 for a bag of these desirable parts, because these have all the articulation points in it. So it was awesome that Four Horsemen did that. Now, again, going back to what I was just saying, I hope this was a great success for the Four Horsemen, that they did this at LegionsCon. I hope they can continue to expand on this. Maybe next year they'll add dwarf parts, goblin parts, lizard parts, who knows. It's cool. It definitely is something that I want to continue seeing. The only bit of feedback I will give out is add maybe 1 more register. Same for the LegionsCon figure fair. Another register, speed things up a bit. That'd be awesome. So appreciate it. Jeremy Gerard, Joe Viteri, all that. That's my one small, tiny piece of feedback from the entire LegionsCon experience. So we're going to move on, and we got a lot of stuff that we picked up at the whole I don't even know what you want to call it. Basically, all the fans, all their tables. I got a lot of stuff, and I knew I would. So we'll move along. Okay, so this is going to be part 1 of what I got at LegionsCon from all the independent creators and artists that were selling some of their really cool stuff. So I'm going to mix in that with a couple other different topics as well on this part 1. So first of all, I want to talk about, I switched my lanyard here. The My Wife Is Going to Kill Me live show. Guys, you killed it. I loved it. Pete, I already told you, it meant the world to me that you included me in that one little lyric. You guys are awesome. I love you dudes. Can't wait to see you, Pete, and everybody at G-Con. I got shit on by the My Wife Is Going to Kill Me team. Thanks a lot, guys. Super cool, super fun. I loved the entire experience. Next, we'll go on to, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of the way so we can see the full hoodie. I ordered in advance this new Cabal hoodie, and I got it from Len over at Wolf King Customs. Len over at Wolf King Customs, if you couldn't hear that when I turned around. I ended up this year, instead of going with, I believe the other brands were the Gildan, he had some Champion branded ones. I nerded out with Len talking about the quality, and this is a nice one. I really like it. Definitely cost a bit more, which I understood going into it, full disclosure, than the other one, but I think this one's going to last a really long time, not shrinking, keep the length, not creeping up on the length, so I'm super excited I got this hoodie. Now we'll go on to, we'll get this little piece out right here. This is a hammer, I believe it's Thane's hammer for the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom line. Jason Bienvenu, if that's how he pronounces it, that's how I just pronounced it, was hiding these around the hotel. So it was just a neat little way to generate some buzz for the AWOC line, and cool, and I want to give this to one of my Mythic Legions ogres. So that's awesome that I have that extra piece now. Then we'll go to my dudes over at the Legions Lair. Yeah, Legions Lair, Legions Lounge, it's Legions Lair. Brad, Michael, you guys are awesome. I love watching your show. You guys are cool. I won one of these guys on your most recent show, and you said, I said to you guys, hey, let's exchange at LegionsCon because I have something really cool for you both. I made them both custom figures, and I'll feature them probably this week on my Action Figure Minute Shorts. So guys, thank you very much for the Goblin Legion builder. It's one of my favorites in the entire line, just because of customs and goblins and all that good stuff. Then let's move over this way. I'm turning the wrong direction here, but let's talk about Walter Hagen, creator of the Cabal. Every year, Walter, out of his own generosity, pocketbook, whatever, he creates these t-shirts, has them made. Maybe he has them made through Wolf King, I think. I'm not certain, through Len over at Wolf King. But this one's a really cool colorway this year. Walt, thanks again, man. You're awesome. Cabal above all. We all appreciate you. Thank you, Walt. Then let's go on to Dang Dusty Studios. See it on the back here. Dang. Dusty did his Cosmic Cabal Creations coloring book. This is volume 2, the Electric Boogaloo, because this time he went cosmic. I got some stickers falling out in here. I was traveling home with some stickers in there to keep him safe. But very cool. I have volume 1. Now we got volume 2, the Cosmic Boogaloo. So check that out. Check out Dang Studios. Then, now let's go to this other pretty impressive piece. Another Wolf King Customs exclusive from Len over there. God's Fire, it never dies. Apparently someone's trying to kill it, but it never dies. And God's Fire came back with a vengeance. These are some creations from Emil, Steve, and Len. They've made their own little God's Fire sub-creation line for Mythic Legions. And as a part of buying this nifty pack, and we'll crack this open in a minute, Len gave away a couple other exclusives. So this poster right here that they created with all of the characters from their God's Fire line. I'm going to hang this on the back side of my sticker wall where I do a lot of the sticky things that don't really work well on the other side. So this is going up for sure. Art in my man cave. And then he also gave out a really cool colorway God's Fire t-shirt that came with the set. So very happy to have that. Awesome, will rock. I also I rocked it at the LegionsCon, I believe, on day 2. And then finally, he put together this really cool set display here. Nice little foam inlay. You crack it open. It says God's Fire on it, and you get a really cool God's Fire pin on the back side. Another little God's Fire display. So I can also stick that up. Maybe since I'll have this poster stuck up with the same artwork on it, I'll stick up this side on the other side. A God's Fire sticker that came with it. And then the new parts. So I will do close-ups of the new parts when I go around and we look at all the custom parts starting now. All right, so I decided we'll do a little closer look at this as we lead to the next to all the parts. Here's the God's Fire sticker. Here is the really cool, big, heavy, beefy God's Fire pin. And then here are the really cool parts. Now this one's my favorite, this evil, I'm all about the bad guys, this evil sculpt. And it has these evil skull-like pauldrons. And it also has a really cool chest plate for the torsos that have the removable torso plate so you can customize it. I'm not aware of the God's Fire character names, but new sculpt looking really cool. So we got one bad guy and one good guy. So here's the good guy shoulder armor. Very ornate. And it's got the 2 shoulders and then the sword. So very cool. I will have fun creating these figures and learning more about the God's Fire storyline. So I do these figures justice when I paint them up some decade from now. Moving on to the next. All right, so this is going to take a little time. As I discussed in my previous videos, I got these tackle boxes from Walmart. They work very well. For less than $4 for this, and it helps really transport your 3D resin printed pieces that you get from conventions like LegionsCon. So I highly recommend picking these up. Super cheap and easy to transport all your goods. So first things first, I don't know if the black is going to show up on here. Oh, I can see it a little bit. I got this from my buddy Noah Pratt, a little flask that says Cabal Above All on it. So thank you very much, Noah. I appreciate it. And before I go any further, one thing I do want to say is, man, there are so many talented people out there, painters, diorama makers, and I feel bad because you can't buy it all. You really can't. And I feel bad because I want to support everybody, but you know, the guys that paint stuff, you know, I want to do my own painting, so, you know, I don't really purchase those. And this is a fig. I'm not aware of who the sculptor was for this, but I did pick this up over at Jesse's table, where Jesse Arnold was. So really cool gnome head. And the artist that was selling these, when you bought the head, you got a free helmet, and you could choose, and then free feet. So the feet could have been either these bare feet, which are really well done, or also these curved booty feet. So I got both because I ended up getting 2 heads. Here's the second one. Really cool sculpt. Different little masks I got for them. I'm not certain which head and which mask I'll put with whichever gnome, but very cool, very fun. Then I got from CB Make, Brian C, these crab clackers. I got his crab kit also, so we'll see that in a little bit, the full body of the crab, but here are the crab clackers. Let's see who we got up here. I got a blind orc. Now this, I believe, came from my dudes over at Borderland Horde. More to come from them in a little bit. I got this guy, Go Irish, from the Euro Legions podcast boys that traveled all the way from across the pond to sell me this leprechaun head and also enjoy LegionsCon. They came for that too. Going back to CB Make, I got this really cool, I believe it's a Polish style helmet. I believe that's what it was. So really cool, very chainmail heavy, completely different look than anything we've seen before. My bro, Matthew Imway, purchased this for me a while ago from Von Burke, and he just delivered it to me at the con. This really cool helmet. Put it on a skeleton or whatever you may do. It's got a little stretched out skin face all over it. And then Brian Burke was handing out these keys. If anybody found all 3 of these keys, he was giving away a surprise. The differences between the keys are these little skulls. I believe one had 1 skull, one had 2 skulls like you see here, and one had 3 skulls. So if you found all 3, you got a little prize from him. So really cool for him for doing something awesome like that as a fun little giveaway. I got this head. It looks like I need to knock off a couple of the supports on the eyes there, but I got this head from, I believe it was Dwarf Lord Designs. Let me look at my bag. I got the bag over here to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Yeah, Dwarf Lord Toy Design. I picked up that head from them, and I got this, I believe this is their vampire style dwarf head. Really fun, really cool. Let's see who we got over here. This is a freebie head that they gave me. So it looks like, to me, it looks like a dwarf female maybe. This is a freebie head for purchasing several heads from them. This is another dwarf head that I likened, first of all, when I first looked at it. The immediate thing that popped out to me was Rufio. But no, it's actually the same hairstyle as one of the dwarfs from the Hobbit movie. So still extremely cool. I like that. This was a neat little goblin that, you know, looks like he's got a gourd growing out of his head. So very fun. As I've said before, I enjoy doing goblins and dwarves for customs when I get to it. I really like this one. This was their Halloween style themed mask, and it was like a Phantom of the Opera style dwarf. So very cool. I like that a lot. And this was a head that I got as a gift, one of the random gifts for purchasing several items out of the First Alliance aisle. I spent heavy with the dudes over at the Borderland Horde and others, so I got to roll the dice, and I got this exclusive dwarf head sculpt. So very cool, very happy with that. This is a dwarf with a dragon on his head, and that deserves a "that's sick" from my dudes over at Borderland Horde. So really cool job, guys. Great design. I can't remember the story behind these. Maybe I was in some sort of weird, you know, dream. A purple GG dream, but I ended up getting 2 PGG hearts. I got this really cool, unique weapon from my buddy Frank, painted up. One of the very few painted items I purchased. That's not my jam. It's not my thing to do, but this really cool, unique weapon, awesome. Love it. Thank you, Frank. And going back to Dwarf Lord Toy Designs, this was another freebie head they gave me. And then finally out of this little concoction here, and they just listed these as a new project, but I saw these and I started laughing, and if you can guess who it is already, you probably can. But dwarfs in the style of the Three Stooges. So that's going to be a fun little project when I get to those. Really cool. It caught my eye and I just started laughing. I'm like, yep, give me those. All right, let's move on. All right, and we're going back to Wolf King Customs. I pre-ordered these parts with Len over there This is a nice little standard obey, follow Wolf King Customs Instagram, Facebook group. So that's a little shout out there to the groups. And some really cool new stickers. So let me move my camera here and watch what I'm doing. So the Cabal, like a cosmic style Cabal. And Wolf King Customs. Very cool. I love that design, Len. Fun. Another Wolf King Customs. And a OG Cabal sticker. So loaded up with stickers. Thanks, Len. And then he also included an exclusive piece, which this was really fun looking. A little pumpkinish style head with a king on it and a really big vine popping out of his head. So that's fun. We'll definitely put that on probably a skeleton or something like that. So let's see the pieces that I pre-ordered now. Let's go like this. I ended up getting this demon dwarf style guy. And then this was a Jason Rodriguez sculpt buzzard. So it comes in two pieces, the neck and the head. So you could probably use the neck or not, but I'm definitely going to use that because that's really cool. And let's see here, we got this really cool undead skeleton knight head. And then a undead, we'll call him undead orc style head because you can see his skin kind of decomposing in there. So those were my gets from Wolf King. Let's move this to the side. We'll move to my next box of goodies. See what I have in here. I got this from George when I was in the Mythic Legions figure fair checkout line. Gaspar dislikes amusements. Little funny piece of information here. I was the first guy that said, "Why does George hate fun?" from the Fourish Horsemen o'clock show. I got the post to prove it. I'll show you because inside joke between me and Matthew Imway. But yeah, it's the zaniness between Chris and then George saying, "Shut it down! Can we end this already?" My question was, why does George hate fun? So it turned into George hates fun, and then Gaspar dislikes amusement. So this will definitely be going on another skeleton. So thank you very much, George. And every year, George and I do a picture together with each other. I'm going to take the opportunity to do the layover of those right here in remembrance to that fun. Here's that crab, going back to that crab that I was talking about from CB Make. Really cool design. You could put a total of 4 arms on this guy. Mostly it looks like people do the skeleton limbs. Very cool. I even saw Corn Boy really was digging these guys. So who knows? Brian, I'm gonna stick that piece aside because those are secrets between me and Brian. We got this. I believe this was from Borderland Horde again. And this will go with that dwarf with the dragon on its head. I believe that's who it came from. I know this for a fact right here. I got this from the guys over at Borderland Horde, and I was like, oh, that crab weapon is going to be really sweet for my Brian Say CB Make crab guy. So these are going to go really cool together, along with the crab claws I showed earlier. And then this axe to go with that dwarf with the dragon on his head. Beefy, huge axe, so that's really cool. Moving on, let me reach over here and grab another box. This one, I'm going to go through, and I don't remember names. I know that this is from Carver Customs. This was his Charbot. And I believe these are the limbs. I'm not opening that up because I don't want to lose the limbs. And I'm blanking on the name at the moment while I'm filming, but a gentleman gave me these custom pieces he designed so you can add tubes to the chest piece of the Cosmic Legion figures. So that's really cool. And these I think are also, these feel like rubber gaskets. They're probably for the Charbot. So it helps with the arms staying there, making it like a full action figure. And then this is probably see it there, there it goes, a Cabal logo hologram piece that you could peg into the arm of the Cosmic Legion style figure. So Brian gave me that as well for free. I believe he was just handing those out, so very cool of him for that. And then this could be it for the custom pieces. And then there's one small thing to discuss after that. Going back to the Borderland Horde. That's sick. They had some really cool companion pieces. And to be honest, I could have bought them all. I really like them all, but I limited myself to 2. So I got the big bullfrog. He had big ones and little ones. And then there was also like a meerkat. I didn't get that. And then like a panther and a jaguar. So I'll stick him right here. But the main big one that I decided to go with was the warthog. So the warthog has this removable pack piece. Very cool design that they came up with here to do it all. And then they even packed it really nice. So this boar has these little rope tusky spiky things hanging down. Go ahead and remove it right there. And they stuck it in this foam so they didn't break in transit. So very good job, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and stick that over to the side off camera. And then we had the other head. It came with a non-armored head. Go ahead and do that as well. So we got a standard head. I'll bring the armored one back so you can see them both side by side. And the armored head in the kit. So choose your own warthog. I'm going to hold that because I don't want it to fall off. Oh, it stays. Good. Very cool. Love it. And then also they included in 2 swords. This might go on the pack somewhere. Oh yeah, it looks like I see a sheath here. And I was holding the bag up in front of the camera. I think it looks like a sheath there. And another sheath there to put those massive swords in. And then finally, this is like, oh, maybe they didn't mean to. I thought, man, this is the thickest sticker in the world. I got a couple stickers in that little box. So, hey, thanks, guys. Maybe I'll hand those out to other people some other time. So that's it for the custom corner pieces. Then we'll move on to the final thing that I grabbed at LegionsCon. Yes, I know this video is going on forever. One more thing. All right, I'm too lazy at this point to do moving of the camera around, so we're just going to go like this. I should probably tilt this a little bit. So, Valaverse, Bobby Vala was there at LegionsCon. Scoot this back a little bit too. Selling some figures. So this is Atlas. You can see there on the name tag. Now, Atlas had a slight issue, I guess, in production. His crotch was smooth. It wasn't textured like the legs of his pants. So they were giving out this crotch piece to swap for those that want to do it, because at Valaverse, we care, and they give you the directions to do that. So very cool of them to do that. And then probably my favorite from this wave is this Colonel Siege figure. So I was able to pick him up at the show. Very cool. And then I got this figure Sidewinder. A really cool set, a really cool character. I think there was another one, Senshi, I did not get because this one's like in a green camo style. Big Bed Toy Store is doing they've got an exclusive version all in black. So since he's, samurai-esque looking, I thought he would look cool in black to have. And I didn't get the Praetorian either. I don't know why. I don't remember if it was there, but I didn't get that. Otherwise, I got the other figures in this wave. And then I also got one of their bone collectors, the new version 2 bone collector, if you will. I got, I think, the second to last one that they had, so I was happy I popped up in their line when I did. So we'll go ahead and pause here. Almost forgot all of the stickers, so let's go through those real quick. And I tried to grab as many as I could. There were a couple, Legions ladies, I have to get another one from you. It got washed. So I definitely have to get another Legions ladies someday. Might have been a couple other ones in there too, but I tried to grab as many as I could. As many as I could find. Hopefully you see yours. Got a couple of the postcards that Rebecca was handing out at their table. Very cool, guys. I'm gonna litter up my sticker door with these. Thanks again, Kabbalah Babal. So, thanks for sticking with me here in the action figure. Gosh, it's probably been a half hour or so, and I get to spend a lot of time doing a lot of cleanup here before my wife gets home. So, hey, thanks for hanging with me. I'll probably be shooting some videos to get back on my shorts as my shoulder's been healing up. I appreciate all the likes, comments, subscribes, follows, and all that jazz. As we continue to build the channel, this is fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you. And this has been your action figure half of my day. Peace.